Hey guys, Negative9 here. How's it going, everybody? And as most of you probably know, this past Friday we got the first episode of Season 4 of The Living World, and so today I just wanted to give sort of my thoughts on the storyline, a little bit about the patch itself, some cool new features that were added to the game, and just my general thoughts on how everything went. So to be completely honest, after Path of Fire I was not particularly looking forward to Living World Season 4 with any amount of great excitement, and I wasn't really expecting too much quality anywhere near what we saw in Path of Fire because I guess I'm just a filthy pessimist. But in all honesty, this patch really surprised me, and I'm honestly stunned at the quality of what we got. In fact, it's maybe the best Living World episode I think we've gotten yet, and I know that's a big claim, but I seriously think that may be the truth. This episode definitely had a little bit of everything, but it did almost all of it flawlessly. So, the episode 1, Daybreak, begins with us defending Amnoon from a brandstorm, where we get to see Aurene sort of flying around and fighting alongside us from above, which I thought was really cool. She does do that around the new zones as well, and I thought it was really awesome seeing Aurene coming flying in and like setting packs of mobs on fire. It gave me some very Game of Thrones-y vibes, and it made me really excited to see her when she's fully grown, if she's still on our side by then. At the end of the instance, Aurene gives us a vision, and this vision shows us an ancient city, and Awakened slaughtering a bunch of people. At the very end, we get the tiniest shot of a woman holding a staff, who seems to be leading these Awakened, and then the vision just ends. So that was a very mysterious little hint that we got at the very beginning of that episode. Shadow Agent Kito tells us that the city is Farinor in Istan, and so we have to go find a boat from Amnoon that can take us to the Isle of Istan. Here we're told by the captain of the ship that going to Istan is going to be really dangerous because Palawa Joko, or somebody pretending to be him, has put a price on our head.
I know that face. Palawa Joko's put a price on your head, friend. That's so. Last I saw Joko, he wasn't in a position to make threats.
But we convince him to take us, and off we go to the Isle of Istan for the first time in Guild Wars 2. The map is obviously much smaller than the Path of Fire maps, but I really enjoyed it. There's a lot of quality and detail in these maps, and it's definitely already a step up from Season 3 in my opinion. There's actually like little towns, there's actually some really detailed architecture, and when we get to Istan, we have to find the Astralarium, which is a large observatory in the northwest corner of the map.
This must be the Astralarium.
So this structure has to be the shining star of the zone in my opinion. It's an incredibly well detailed, somewhat star-shaped building inhabited by all manner of scientists and historians who are looking to the stars for answers. This building features one of my favorite parts of the patch. The inside of this building actually has a usable library / bookshelf system. And if you find the books around the Astralarium and put them back on the right shelf, a little book interface comes up where you can actually read an abstract of the contents of the book. Guild Wars 2 has needed this so badly for so long, and it's going to allow the devs to give so much more character to the zones we visit. For example, I learned through these books that the Astralarium was, and possibly still is, a major destination for researchers, and one of the books tells us of an Asuran from the Durman Priory who was able to relate the eternal alchemy to the stars. They also have books on Kos, Gwen Thackeray, and even Cantha, although that text was obviously very old and vague, so still no new information on that topic, of course. But it was great to see these books, and I really cannot wait to see how they affect the story going forward, because there's so much more. I knew so much more about the locations I was visiting because of these books, and it was awesome. On the topic of Cantha though, one of the reasons Istan was so exciting to me was because when I went to the southern edge of the map, I knew that just across the ocean was Cantha, and it was so cool to know how close we've gotten to it since the start of Guild Wars 2. Anyways, back to books. This new book interface was really great, and there's a really great collection you can do to collect a couple of the longer texts, which are a full page or two long, that you can keep in your inventory and read whenever you like. So again, really cool stuff. And as someone who loves lore, this is absolutely a dream come true, and I think this will make such an amazing difference in the story going forwards. At the Astralarium, we find that a lot of the books being kept by the historians are actually Joko propaganda, and that many historians there are being forced to rewrite history towards this pro-Joko spin. However, we do learn that there is a secret Sunspear base underneath the Astralarium, and after proving that we are truly an enemy of Joko, we can gain access. Here we meet First Spear Hakima of the Istani Sunspears.
Ahai, hero of Amnoon. I am First Spear Hakima of the Istani Sunspears.
You know who I am?
Every Sunspear knows who you are, and I believe we have some common interests. Joko's hold on Istan has weakened in his absence. Some of us here even dare to dream of a new era.
I left Joko rotting in a cage in the domain of the lost. Should definitely make for smoother sailing.
You would think. But the number of awakened grows. They're retaking towns we've freed, including Champion's Dawn. And someone claiming to be Joko is offering rewards for the heads of his enemies. Especially yours.
So I hear. I'll tread carefully. To that end, I'm here to ask if you can get me into Faranor.
Oh, I'm afraid not. Only our leader knows the way. Spear Marshal Zaim guards that secret with his life. He rode south to retake Champion's Dawn from the Awakened. The priest there, Sazir, usually knows where he is.
Then that's where I'm headed.
She tells us about the situation in Istan and then tells us to find Spear Marshal Zaim, the one who can get us into Faranor. Unfortunately, we don't find Zaim, but we do find a priest who knows where he is, but they tell us of a possible way to get him back from the Corsairs, who have sort of taken him hostage.
Might be a way. Old Corsair family like the Slies. Only one thing means more than gold. Honor.
No, Father, I know this story. It would be suicide to even try.
Centuries ago, story goes, a Sunspear champion found a coin belonged to a Corsair. Name of Margaret the Sly. Sly family wanted it back. Swore they'd grant any favor to whoever returned it. No one ever has.
How can I get this coin?
You can't. Hundreds of Corsairs have entered the cave of the Sunspear champion, hoping to best him, win the coin, and get a favor from the Slies. All have died. Like I said, suicide.
I've died before. It's overrated. Where do I find this cave?
It's on the south shore. You need only follow the trail of dead, but I wish you'd reconsider.
Why, who do you think you're talking to? If anyone can win that coin, it's this one. Might even help our town along the way.
And it's here where ArenaNet's extra voice-acted dialogue really shines. We discover that in a nearby cave there dwells a Sunspear warrior who's been awakened but locked away.
Not much to tell, really. He's been there since before my father's father was born. Kind of tradition for the kids of the village to sneak out there to the cave and watch him knock down challengers. He's not like the other Awakened I've met. He was always kind to us kids. Put on a real show. Mind you, this is gossip from 200 years ago. But I heard when he was awakened, he put up a real fight. Joko and his stooges had to say every order just so, or he'd find a way around it. Most people just give up, accept it. Easy to give in, be a mindless slave. But a few keep a bit more personality.
But this Sunspear in particular was kind of different. And who is this Sunspear?
Another deluded fool come to court death in the name of avarice. Koss will oblige you too.
None other than Koss himself. Koss was an awesome hero character in Guild Wars 1 and a very prominent character in the Nightfall campaign, so seeing him here as an Awakened was honestly really crazy and another one of the highlights of the patch for sure. To get the coin from him, we have to fight him and best him, and I thought the fight itself was a little bit too easy for such an epic character, but I guess that's okay. After fighting Koss, he has some funny dialogue.
Who the hell are you?
But other than that, we basically just leave him there to continue rotting. The fact that he's awakened makes him too dangerous to have roaming around Istan, and so we say goodbye to Koss for the second time. If you're sharp-eyed, we do get to pick up a really cool little book to read that gives us a little bit of a background on him for players that may not know much about him. It's a neat autobiography called Koss on Koss, and it shows that having lore books gives so much context to events of the game, and I really love it, and I think it's going to be great for especially new players that aren't familiar with the Guild Wars franchise. Next, we find the Corsairs in their awesome ship and discover that they sold Zaim to someone claiming to be Palawa Joko. After doing a deal with the Corsairs and sort of helping them out for a little bit, we come up with a plan. We decide that if we sell the player character to the Awakened, they'll put us in the same prison where Zaim is, and from there we can break him out.
For a hero, the Warden hasn't got all day.
Back for more, Captain Saida. The Sunspear's bounty wasn't enough for you?
I only live to give Joko what he wants, Warden Amala. Praise Joko.
Praise Joko.
Praise Joko.
And there's nothing he wants more than the Tyrian hero in the flesh.
Well, I'll be a scarab's breakfast. How did you and your drunken wharf rats manage this?
Sorry, Warden. Captain's gotta have her secrets.
Fine. I'll have the gold brought to the front hall. Take it and go. Now.
Without drinking a toast to the most magnificent Palawa Joko? Wonder what he'd do if he heard you refuse to honor him. We've brought you the finest grog found outside the pleasure halls of Vabbi, just for this purpose.
It's very heavy. One toast. To honor the most glorious Palawa Joko.
Commander, it's Jaime. Are you there?
Wait, what's that? Quiet, prisoner!
Hi. You in there. Are you dead?
Not now, Jaime.
Ah, grog. Sleep it off then.
Oh, wait. What happened?
You're in the holding cells of the Morden Crescent Great Hall. Keep it down over there.
Are you, Zaim, the hero of Istan?
That is what people call me, yes.
Once you get to the jail cell and meet Zaim, we get this really cool moment where we use a profession ability to break out and some funny dialogue from our character. I really liked hearing my character sound really honestly out of it as opposed to the calm and collected stuff we always hear from the commander or whatever. For the Guardian, you get to summon a spirit hammer to break the lock on the gate, and that was really awesome. I really enjoyed that, and I really hope they continue to add stuff like that. You get Zaim out of the cell and collect your gear, and this is where the story really starts to heat up. As you make your way out of the dungeons, weaving in and out of the grog and paired awakened, you get an effect called Panic. And if you mouse over it, it says, "You're sure now? Something's gone wrong." And you'll notice if you're paying attention, your screen will be flashing black at the edges. And at first I had no idea what was going on, but this effect really confused me. And then once I saw the text, I actually started freaking out a little bit. We begin to hear Tommy trying to contact us through our communicator from the outside, and it sounds like she's in trouble.
Time to bust some heads.
Commander, please! Are you there?
Timey?
You got me! I need you!
I'm coming, Timey.
I knew this had to be a ruse. I'd expect it from you, Commander. But Saida? Joko would not approve.
Who needs approval when I've got his gold?
Oh no! He's coming!
Where is she?
He commands that you must die.
When we break out of the dungeon, we're met by Warden Amala outside, and we must fight her as Tommy continues to ask for help through the communicator. I was really stressed out while fighting the Warden, and hearing Tommy struggle as we fought her was really eerie, but I really like the darker turn that this episode took. After we finally kill Warden Amala, we get the big revelation of the episode.
Sweet release.
Timey, where are you?
Commander, I think it's the city from Aureen's vision. Oh no, he's coming!
Who's got you, Timey?
No, stay away, please!
Your turn, little one.
No, it can't be.
Joko has escaped from the realm of the lost, and he has taken Timey to Faranor. Before we can really talk or think about what just happened, we hear a commotion outside, and an army of sun spears breaks through the gate, and as this happens, Aureen flies over and tortures the awakened. This was the most fun battle in the entire patch, and it actually felt like a real conflict. I also felt really powerful when I jumped into the middle of this pack of Awakened and just started lighting people on fire, so that was definitely a lot of fun. And I actually thought this was going to be the last mission in the episode, because they were really setting up a big cliffhanger. But after we kill all the Awakened, we decide to go to Faranor after Taimi and Joko. We're joined by Ritlock, Canuck, and Spear Marshal Zaim as we journey into Faranor. So it was really cool to walk around this old ruined city as we navigate the Awakened and the Branded. We find signs that Taimi has been there, and we are led to an opening. Now this particular opening is filled with tons of dead Inquest Asura.
At least Taimi's not among them.
There are also Inquest from the look of it.
Strange. As far as I knew, the Asura were all expelled or killed when Joko claimed these lands. Never a good sign when the Inquest are around, dead or alive.
We're penned in. We've got to find a way past this wall.
Good thing I didn't waste these explosives on the gate.
We're caught in a trap, and the Asura rise to fight us. Here we have a little event where we have to defend Canuck while he tries to set up charges on the bone walls holding us in. And from this point forward, I thought the difficulty of all the fights got a lot harder, and I struggled quite a bit at this point, to be honest. I guess I might just be bad, or I guess not spec'd for healing much in these big fights, but it took a lot longer for me, and I got down quite a bit, actually. Eventually, Canuck sets off the charges, but the ceiling caves in from above.
Canuck, what did you do? Watch your heads!
Out of nowhere, Rox and Bram come to save us. We find out that the Awakened have begun to invade Tyria, and as we progress, we have to destroy Asura gates that are sending Awakened into places like Gendarin Fields and Ascalon. We also start to discover that in the last 250 years, Faranor has been converted into an Inquest lab, but somehow Joko found it and used it for his invasion of Core Tyria. We come to a big room, and once we clear it, we find a recording from Taimi.
Security log.
I won't open it! I'd rather die than help you.
If you prefer, you can die and help me. The order doesn't matter.
Cross those two wires and hit that button.
Replay complete.
Let's go.
Uh-oh.
Well, that's not good.
What in the name of the tree is this?
The wall fades away, and we see a bunch of Inquests and a mysterious figure directing them about. Now, I was able to click on this figure before she disappeared, and it's clear that whoever this is, she's the exact same figure from Aureen's vision. She quickly disappears, and in the center of the room we see Taimi trapped inside of Scruffy 2.0, and this is where the boss fight begins. This whole fight was actually really annoyingly difficult. Again, I don't know if I'm bad or just didn't have the right abilities on my utility bar, but I do like the darker nature of the fight. After a long and annoying fight, like I said, we finally destroy Scruffy and save Taimi.
Well, we've stopped that. For the moment.
At least Joko won't be getting any more Awakened from here.
I doubt this was his only source for soldiers. He'll regroup. But we've put a serious dent in his plans.
The big question is, what else is he planning?
Taimi?
Experiments. He has them doing experiments.
What kind of experiments?
I don't know. Bugs. Something with bugs.
We came through another Inquest lab. Do you think it's here in Alona?
If it is, we'll find it.
We talk to Taimi and discover that Joko is planning to unleash the Scarab Plague again, and that he's likely found other Inquest or Asura facilities in Alona to use as hubs for his invasion force of Tyria. It's very likely that wherever we go next will be the location of some sort of Asuran influence. After you talk to everyone for a bit in this now empty Asuran or Inquest facility, there's some fascinating stuff to walk around and see. As you walk around, you can hear snippets of recordings as the Inquests were slaughtered by the Awakened, and it gave me a very uneasy feeling the entire time I was walking around there. You can see some control panels that you can actually interact with, but they don't really have any hard information, but a lot of nice funny Easter eggs here and there. But if you do look closely, there is some incredible information to be found here. Some very confusing information, actually. Around the center of the facility, which looks like it's connected to a large source of ley line energy, there are 6 test chambers that you can interact with. Each one has a subject number and its status. The first one I interacted with said subject 3942A, and the status was dormant. Dormant? That's a very interesting choice of language there. The next chamber said subject 7436N, status active. And it was at this point that I realized that this must be the current statuses of the Elder Dragons. Of course, we do know the Inquest have a history of monitoring the Elder Dragons. We've seen this in some other zones. But when you interact with all the chambers, the statuses line up like this: 3 dormant, 1 extinct, and 2 active. But something about that doesn't add up to me. Zaitan was killed, so he's obviously the extinct one, but wasn't Mordremoth killed as well? Maybe we just sent him back to sleep? I don't know. And Primordus and Jormag should be asleep as well, so that leaves 2 active dragons, one which is Kralkatoric, so that means the last active one is either the Deep Sea Dragon, or it's counting Arene as one of these subjects. All of these options have huge implications for the story if that's what it really is. Of course, these could be monitoring something completely different. They could be monitoring the gods, I suppose, because we just killed Balthazar, so that would account for the extinct subject. But there is one more aspect to this, though. Off to the side, out of line with the other chambers, there's a broken one, and when you interact with it, it says error, subject not found. And it looks like either the subject has escaped or the chamber has simply been destroyed, but if we count Arene as an Elder Dragon, there could be 7, so this 7th chamber does keep things even, if that theory still works. Anyways, whatever this is very, very interesting, but this is where the episode ends, and overall, I'm really happy with the episode, and in my opinion, this is definitely the best episode I've experienced so far. I definitely enjoyed it far more than the other ones we've had. And it really revitalized my excitement for the Living World. After that expansion, it was hard to be motivated to do the Living World almost. I was like, oh, it's not going to be as good, but it really surprised me. And speaking of episode 2, there's actually been a couple of leaks for episode 2 already, so I'll probably be making a video talking about that in the not too distant future as well. But for now, I think this is where I'll leave it. I hope you guys enjoyed the patch. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.